So Mama Lucifer is just gonna be around. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Lucifer, Season 2, Episode 4. And yeah, uh, Lucifer has decided what his mother's punishment is going to be, and he's just going to, instead of taking her back to hell, make her stay on Earth with, as he puts it, the humans she so despises. She has to remain inside this body and live with it. And I think that it's both a very forgiving punishment because he's starting to see that maybe his view of her, his hatred of her wasn't as founded as he believed. But I also think it is definitely still a punishment because it's, something she doesn't want, she doesn't like. And he knows that. He knows that she's not going to be comfortable with this, and he does still want to punish her because he's petty, let's be honest. He's a petty bitch who does not like feeling bad. So, yeah. So, I guess she's just going to be around from now on, here and there. I don't know how active of a role she's going to play, but she'll be around. And on top of that, we have Chloe and Dan choosing to finally just finalize their breakup, splitting completely. It's just best for everyone. They're not working anymore. And they're still going to be on pretty cordial terms. They're not like hating each other. But it's coming to a realization, Dan especially has realized that they're not going to be able to make this work. It's over. Not in a mean way, but in a respectful way. Not everybody gets that, so honestly, probably the best outcome either of them could have hoped for. And it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck especially for Trixie. But they just have to make sure that she understands and that they both remain there in her life. Again, the best thing they can do right now is to not hate each other and rather to continue to unconditionally support her so that she knows that despite everything, one, it's not her fault, and two, she is still loved. Because kids who go through parents who get divorced face those kind of feelings very constantly. Um, Believe me, my parents are divorced. And they got divorced when I was in high school still. So I've gone through this. Not as much. Like I was never in as much pain over it because I very much saw it coming. Also, I was like at the end of high school, so I honestly was not surprised by it. But I still question this kind of stuff. I absolutely did. So now we're just going to move on for the moment, I guess. I mean, we have a couple other things still going down, like with Amenadiel and the doctor lady who also has, like, connections with Maze and all. But it seems like the main kind of like focus of the season is almost kind of resolved at the moment. Because it was all set up for the mother. Everything was surrounding that. Now what? I assume we're going to have to move on to something else. I mean, there's 18 episodes this season. So there's still a lot of time to build something else up. I just don't know what it's going to be. I honestly couldn't even begin to fathom a guess. So it's going to be interesting to see how this season evolves from here. And I hope we get just a lot more than just the villain of the week stuff. Because I want more actual story, you know? Um, the one thing I'm still wondering the most about, though, is the I want to say mortician, but I know that's inaccurate. Forensics. The forensics lady. The one who have been extremely suspicious of and continue to be. I still question her. Just every time she says something, it is just insanely suspicious. And it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm very curious, though. And that's just the thing I want to see more of in general. Kind of going in with, like, as I've said before, thinking like she might be another angel or something. I want to see more of that shit. I want to see more of the supernatural element to this. Like, the crime element is fine. It's not as bad as some shows' crime element, and it's not as good as other ones, though. But I'm just really wondering when they're going to bring more of the supernatural element in. Because the mom, I barely count. Because she hasn't really done too much supernatural. And she's mostly just living out as a human currently, so. Yay? It's not really what I mean, I want, like, the actual supernatural element. Like, where it's like, oh, we get angel wings and we get, like, powers and shit. That's what I want to see. And hopefully we'll get more of it soon. I definitely think we're going to get more of it. It's just a matter of when at this point. But yeah, I'm definitely very interested still. Nonetheless, even with this first plot line of the season seemingly ending, at least for now. I do want to say real quick. I've already talked about, like, trying to figure out when would be the best point to take a break and all. Obviously, we're only a few episodes in. It's still a little early, but it's always good to think about this because with 18 episodes in the season, yeah, we're obviously taking at least one break. I was thinking somewhere in between 6 and 10 episodes because 9 episodes would be the halfway point of the season. I'm thinking somewhere around 6 to 10 is going to be a good spot to take that break, just because of timing and everything. Because as I've stated it before, but a lot of these live action shows are a little harder to keep my attention and focus on than animated stuff. Even when I'm very much enjoying them, it's like I can't watch as much of it at a time as I can with animated shows. It's like I can go through an entire animated show in some cases in one go with no breaks. But with a lot of live action stuff, it's very hard for me to do that. It takes very specific shows. Most of the time, it's like, oh, I need a break here or there because, I don't know, live action is exhausting. I have to deal with this shit in real life constantly, especially lately. Um, it's like I prefer animation because it's less realistic half the time and allows me to just kind of, escape from reality for a bit. And mind you, there's a lot of live action stuff that's pretty ridiculous and great for escapism, but it also depends on, like, how it's written and everything, because live action shows and animated shows are written exceptionally different. But like I said, probably between 6 and 10, somewhere in that range, depending on how I'm feeling at any given moment and where the story ends up going. So we'll get to that when we end up getting to it. We're still only 4 episodes in at the moment, but let's just see what this episode has in store and hope that it starts some new good stuff in terms of storylines and all. Yeah, let's get it going. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about the gaming channel. We have Baldur's Gate 3 every single day. We have Horizon Forbidden West every Monday and Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays is Life is Strange Double Exposure. And Wednesdays and Sundays is Beyond Two Souls. On Saturdays, we have both Poppy Playtime and Nier Automata. And on top of that, don't forget to click the link in the description below to get to today's reaction. I redirect everything just due to copyright. You know how it is. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you want to see more awesome content such as this. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, let's get to today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So that's how the storyline is going to continue, the main story. Like, outside of just, you know, the mom being around and everything. Chloe is now in mortal danger. Because Lucifer is, because of his heart and because he is, you know, starting to see the truth in what his mother is saying, he's not sending her back to hell. And now God is going after Chloe. All right. Does that mean we're going to meet God by the end of the season? Obviously, do not tell me, but I'm just like hypothetically asking for the sake of getting my thoughts out. But yeah, I'm really curious then. Because with this kind of revelation, this kind of means God is the main antagonist right now. And it's not the first time I've watched a show where that can be said. Supernatural is a big one for that. So yeah, the deal in the first place was Chloe's life for returning the mom. And so yeah, Chloe is in danger now. And I mean, you can survive a car accident that didn't even seem like horrifically bad. So I think that that's just trying to like get us on edge. I don't think she's going to die from that, but I think it's going to get us as viewers and Lucifer on edge. On top of that, apparently Maze and Chloe are going to be living together now. Part of me doubts it, but a part of me is wondering if that's going to lead to anything. I think that would actually be really cool if it did, though. Like, outside of just the jokes and, you know, them getting together being a funny idea, I think it would actually be pretty interesting, too. Because Chloe is the secondary main character, the deuteragonist of this series after Lucifer. So to have a major character of this series be, you know, super openly and visibly queer like that is always a good thing. And I mean, mind you, Lucifer is queer as fuck. Like, he doesn't really hide that. I don't think he's ever directly stated it. Unless I'm like forgetting something, but it's been very, very aggressively implied that it's like all of his like sex has not only been with women. His menage a trois not only with 2 girls. It's very implied that he is pansexual, and it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense for his character. But I think it would still be interesting for Chloe to be queer as well. Because the thing is, I feel like there's a lot of shows and a lot of studios out there that will be more accepting of queer characters when they're, for lack of a better word, othered. You know, when they're not human. And so Lucifer being, you know, an angel makes it more digestible for a lot a lot of studios and, directors and producers and everything. Which sucks. It sucks that it needs to be that, but it a lot of times does. And so, if you have Chloe and Maze, like, if something actually happens there, that would be notable, I feel. Because while Maze isn't human, Chloe is. That would just be a notable deal for the series. And I would be all for it. And not that I ship Chloe and Maze necessarily. I'm not against the idea of a ship of them. But I don't entirely ship them. I also don't ship Chloe with Lucifer, though, to be fair. I know that you're probably supposed to be. But I don't. I don't really ship anyone in this. It's just never really gotten to that point yet. I think the closest I've had to a ship in this series has been probably Amenadiel and Maze. But even then, it's like I'm not quite at that point for them. Maybe that'll change as things go forward, though. But this one was interesting because even outside of the case, which, let's be honest, most of these cases are just, generic murder cases, have some interesting little stuff to them, but for the most part, it's not really the appeal of the series. The better appeal of this episode definitely centered around the boys' night and the girls' night. Because, there was both. The boys' night with them investigating and trying to figure everything out, but also Amenadiel getting super fucking wasted. I knew that was coming. Amenadiel getting super fucking wasted. Dan just looking like a cop everywhere. And Lucifer continuing to not take too much seriously. But yeah, getting to see them and then getting, contrasted by the girls' night, seeing Maze and Chloe and the doctor and the forensic girl. I will get names down eventually, I hope. But yeah, it's really interesting seeing them hanging out. And it was originally a bet, but I do actually believe Maze when she was saying that it had started to be otherwise and whatnot. I think that she was getting along with them genuinely. And that it did turn into something else. And for the other two, it was never part of the bet. The other two were absolutely genuine. But yeah, I think that was a lot of fun. Getting to see them getting drunk and, fighting and everything. It was a lot of fun. It was really interesting. But yeah, another good episode, and definitely leads to some interesting possibilities, we'll say. Tell me in the comments below, though, what did you think of this episode of Lucifer? And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.